Entering IHM PUSA is no joke after all. Right, ma'am?
Who says is better than the people, those who have actually been
Yeah.
here?
So हमने बात किया कि जनवरी से प्रोसेस शुरू हो रहा है. So अभी अगर किसी को आना हो तो पूसा में आने के लिए कितना रैंक चाहिए मैम?
पूसा में आने के लिए नथिंग अबव 200. जॉइंट एंट्रेंस एग्जाम में 5 सब्जेक्ट रहते हैं और ये पूरा एग्जाम अप्रॉक्सीमेटली हैविंग 200 क्वेश्चंस.
बहुत मुश्किल होता है. So what all is there which a student needs to prepare for? Warm greetings, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of PUSA Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the first episode and you're all geared up for this one. In today's episode, we have a very special guest, someone who is handling the entry to exit at IHM PUSA. So I welcome here Mrs Meenakshi Sumbly, who is the academic head at IHM PUSA. Ma'am, welcome to the episode.
Thank you so much. I hope I'll actually be in a position to give all the answers that you will be having on behalf of the students.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, all the versions I have, I'm again representing the viewers here. And we have seen, on media, we have people who are answering a lot of questions regarding IHM PUSA. So we thought, let's start with the academic head to know how to enter at IHM PUSA.
How to enter? Well, it is a very long process which somewhere starts around about January, whereby the National Council, because that is the governing body and they are the ones, those who conduct the JEE, that's the joint entrance exam, and by the name NCHM-JEE. So this application process starts somewhere in January and continues till the time that the exams are done and the results are out. So we take it somewhere in January, the forms are out. Another 2 months where the candidate is given the chance to fill the forms. The link to this is there at the NCHM website, as well as the website of NTA is also having the complete details of how to fill the form.
So that was the gist of how the process is, and now we will be discussing it in a bit detail because this is going to be serious, right? Entering IHM PUSA is no joke after all. Right, ma'am?
Who says is better than the people, those who have actually been here and seen all the students, those who have been coming all these years that they have been. That is approximately, I have seen this for the last 27 years and I take it that it is a tough job for the people. And then through that counselling process, which is mind-boggling for the students who are actually trying for IHM PUSA.
Why IHM PUSA, ma'am?
Well, when I say IHM PUSA, over the years, what I have seen, and of course, it is not that we have been till the time that we have been a part of the IHM PUSA. Now that the legacy of IHM PUSA is for the 63 years that it has been set up, the people, those who have passed out from here, they have created a very strong niche there in the market. And the word that has spread across in the market is a strong word. At the same time, IHM PUSA has one of the best practices that is being done that is always in line with the time. That is something like in the last podcast what you said, that the moment we were having the corona, this corona was a challenge for, of course, the students were the first ones who were impacted. But at the same time, IHM PUSA took it as a challenge and we came up with the answer as to how to relay all our classes without having the students coming over to the institute. So that was a digital platform that we created and that was done. So this is in line, whatever the market is demanding, IHM PUSA is always in that line.
So thank you so much for that answer, ma'am. And viewers, मैं आपको याद दिला दूँ, पिछले podcast में हमने आपको already share किया था that we run one-year programs here. We also have our flagship program, which is the BSc program and also the master's program. In today's episode, we are actually, talking more about the flagship program, which is the BSc, and in the subsequent journey, we will also cover the other ones. So, ma'am, let's come back to the BSc program,
right?
So, which is our 3-year programs. So, हमने बात किया कि जनवरी से प्रोसेस शुरू हो रहा है. So, अभी अगर किसी को आना हो तो
अभी भी प्रोसेस ऑन है.
Okay.
वेल दिस प्रोसेस एनटीए की जो साइट है उस पर भी है आप, लेकिन एनसीएचएम की साइट पर जा सकते हैं, दैट इज़ nCHM.gov.in. and from there the complete website has created a link that is to the forms, whereby the complete brochure is there. The brochure is having all the information that is required for the student who wants to actually join this. Along with it, this is also having all the information as to what the test is all about, how to go for it, and majorly this form gets closed on the 31st of March.
Okay.
Post that, there will be some time that is being given out to the students for any of the changes that need to be done in the details that they have put in their forms. After this has been done, then the closing of the forms will be done, and finally the exam is being conducted on the 11th of May, which is an online exam. So that means there will be some centers which will be allocated. The student has to set and give the preference for the city wherever they want to go in for
give the exam.
Yes. And that test center will be there depicted on their admit card that they can generate from the NTA site or the National Council site.
So what you're saying is from January, the applications, they are available so that students can fill in the forms. And usually till March, we get time to fill in the forms.
That is this year.
Yes.
And the dates that I'm right now mentioning, that is for the session when we are looking into this process for the session that is 2024-25.
Okay, so we are talking about 24-25.
Yes.
So this is the year we are talking
when we talk about the rest of the years, that means years ahead, we will always have the similarity in the pattern.
So that is the general pattern.
Yes, the pattern will be normally the same. That is January, the forms will be out. That by the month end of March, you will be having the closing. Then there will be a process for rectifying. And then, of course, somewhere in May, they will be having their online exam.
So usually I think till December people can make up their mind. तो मन बना लीजिए January में से form हमारे release हो ही जाते हैं.
So मन बनाना ही काफी नहीं होता है. मन बनाने से
तैयारी भी करनी है.
तैयारी भी करनी है.
अच्छा मैम क्या तैयारी करनी है बताइए.
तैयारी इसमें क्या है कि जैसा कि मैंने आपको बोला, this is a joint entrance exam. तो joint entrance exam में 5 सब्जेक्ट रहते हैं और ये पूरा एग्जाम अप्रोक्सीमेटली हैविंग 200 क्वेश्चंस.
बहुत मुश्किल होता है?
नहीं, अगर बच्चे ने तैयारी की हो तो बिल्कुल नहीं है. तो वी टेक इट, हाँ, जहाँ सारे लोग अपना नेशनल काउंसिल का अलावा कई और जेई दे रहे होते हैं. सो अपार्ट द पीपल दोज हु हैव एक्चुअली, हाँ, उसके साथ साथ आप इसको भी इजीली क्रैक कर सकते हो.
So, ma'am, you have referred National Council for Hotel Management, which is the body which is conducting this exam. Then you mentioned the National Testing Agency, which is actually coordinating the exam. And we'll be also sharing all these details, the website ones, and probably link to prospectus along with this episode. So it will come there. लेकिन मैम फिर भी थोड़ा सा if we talk about all the details are there, so what all is there which a student needs to prepare for, a participant who is keen to join hotel management?
There are 5 components to this exam.
Okay.
So the moment we are saying 200 questions, that has been bifurcated into 5 categories.
Okay.
One is the numerical idea about what exactly, how good
the logical
person is.
reasoning, and like you
there
have
is a
for all the
logical
exams.
reasoning, there is a numerical thing, there is another that is GK, then they have English, and then they have the aptitude for this industry. Now this
the
industry,
hospitality aptitude.
So that is the most important, I will always say, but that is nothing to do with something theoretical. This is all about life skills.
Okay.
So those questions are, when I say the aptitude towards the industry is all about life skill, how you have perceived, how you have done the observations till date. So those will be the ideal ways of giving an answer to that component. And rest are the ones which are a very common factor with other JEEs as well.
And in general, like how many questions are there total if I talk about?
So if we talk about the 3 categories, that is JEE, the numerical component, as well as the logical one, these are of these will be having 30 questions in them. When we are talking about the English component, that is having 60 questions in it.
Right.
And when we are having aptitude towards the industry, that is having 50 questions. And these questions are 4 marks each.
और कोई negative marking?
Negative marking है.
Hey, okay.
So there is a negative marking.
So people be careful.
Negative marking is something that you always have to keep in mind while you're giving answers. Otherwise, anyone who really doesn't want to and has a pressure from the family, जाके अपना hotel management दे दो तो फिर सारे answers गलत दे के आ जाओ तो you will not be part of it. But yes, if you really want to be part of it, you have to be carefully giving the answers.
Okay, ma'am. So that was good. So that means हम एक application form. Ma'am, what is the price of the application form? कुछ ऐसा like we can talk about.
When we say the pricing of this application form, this is for different categories. The general is the one that is for general category. When we say that is for 1,000 rupees. When we have the OBC, that is for 700 rupees. We have the SC/ST as well as the PWD category, that is for 450 rupees. And then we have the third gender who want to apply for this course. So that is also for 450 rupees. And there is no age limit. That is
There is no age limit.
Yes,
That
there
is the
is
most
no age
interesting
limit.
part because earlier it used to be there.
Yes.
And from I think this session, the previous one, we started with this.
Very right.
So no age. तो ऐसा होता है मैम कि कभी कोई ऐसे आ जाए कि फैकल्टी से बड़े भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं?
हाँ, क्यों नहीं. अभी तो हमारा ये रहता है कि हमारे पास सारी यंग फैकल्टी होती है.
Okay.
And you have the students who are elder to the faculty. So sometimes it becomes sort of an awkward position not for the faculty but yes for the student.
Okay.
Student को अपना लगता है कि नहीं, they are junior to me, किसी भी हिसाब से नहीं है, लेकिन the moment they are into a class, the faculty becomes a faculty only.
So फिर faculty handle कर लेते हैं?
बहुत आराम से. I think for that I'll always give a challenge to the people, those who really want to come here and go through this process.
Okay. Ma'am, thoda sa, let's talk about, we mentioned various categories. So because it's being a government institute, it comes under central government. So we do have these benefits, the reserve categories, and we talked about third gender and specially abled. So if you could elaborate a little bit there. कुछ, कोई certificate, कुछ ऐसा, like in that sense I'm asking.
So as far as general is concerned, there is no requirement of certification. Then we have the next category, that is your one is PWD, that is with the physical disability, then we say. Now these are having different categories. It will be very appropriate if I say please go through the brochure, see the various categories. The only thing that can be highlighted from all these categories is nothing below 40% of the disability. Anyone who is having 40% of a disability or lesser to it will not be entitled for it, because the most important thing, anyone who wants to join a hotel management course is the physical fitness. So physical fitness, that is the reason that 40% of the mark has been given for such practices.
So that means if somebody may be especially able, but the main thing is that person should be able to sustain the classes.
Very right.
Especially the practical ones we are talking about. So in that sense, we are talking about physical fitness.
Physical fitness.
Okay.
Because what happens is, talking about this course, we might be having the theory and the practical as every other skill-oriented course is having. So here we have 40% of a percentage that is being given towards the theory classes, but 60% of the weightage of that complete curriculum or the timetable or the scheduling is given towards the practical component.
So another thing, like if I talk about the categories only, the specially able we are talking about, is it only the physical part we're talking about, or we have like students, if somebody's mental
disability also. See, that is the reason I said there will be lots of categories into it. So something like vision, then we have dyslexia, then we have mental abilities as well. So all these are coming under the category of PWD, and we have the same criteria for each and every. In fact, we will always take a pride that we have had students who are in different categories, and of course it is with every institute, not only this, but we have trained students who were autistic also. So, and we take it pride that the parents were very much happy with the way those students were handled. At the same time, dyslexia is something that is a very normal thing now. Though it was not very common for us, it was a challenge the moment we start with the first dyslexic student, and that was something like a coincidence that we had soon after Tare Zameen Par. So the moment Tare Zameen Par had come and there was a mention of dyslexia, that was the time that we have a boom of people, those who had the dyslexic issues coming up.
मैम अब वैसे तो मेरे माइंड में कोई और क्वेश्चन था, लेकिन हमने मूवी की बात करी तो देयर इज अनदर थिंग, व्हाट हैपेंस स्पेशली इफ यू listen to all these conversations which are going on, the grapevine of students, people come with lot of things in their mind. Student of the year, Karan Johar का movie वैसा वाला कॉलेज होगा, it's a hospitality, hotel industry है, और आते हैं और फिर बोलते हैं एक स्कूल से निकल के दूसरे स्कूल में आ गए.
आई थिंक इट विल बी वर्स देन दैट, बिकॉज उस स्कूल में तो कम से कम उनको ऐसा लगेगा कि हाँ वी आर हैविंग सम गेम टाइम ऑल्सो एंड अदर टाइम ऑल्सो, But here we have a schedule from 9 o'clock in the morning till 5:30 in the evening, and this is all distributed in the same percentage as I said earlier, that is 40-60 towards theory and 60 percent. And moreover, good amount of discipline. And discipline is in all respects. So we have
Like?
the gates getting closed. The student cannot move in or move out after 9 o'clock or before the end of, that is before the lunch time, that is the in and out time, or in the evening. So the gates get closed at certain time, and beyond that the students are not allowed.
पर मैम ये तो कॉलेज है ना, इतना स्ट्रिक्टनेस क्यों है?
Well, college के साथ साथ we are catering to a industry. This industry is all about discipline. This is all about the face of the India, that is, and especially the new emerging India. And what we are right now is, when we are coming up with this new emerging India, people have a good amount of expectations, and especially when we are talking about that we are a hotel management institute, that is the very first picture that comes to your mind is hospitality industry.
Right.
And anytime you talk about hospitality industry, it is always asking for a certain imbibing of attitude, imbibing of complete system into yourself, as well as the discipline. The moment you are not missing on any, you are missing on to any of these, you are actually, you can classify yourself, we will not say that you cannot be fit for this industry in that case.
Okay, I think that's right, because I think discipline or virtues like this cannot be imbibed like overnight.
Yes.
You have to go through the pain to emerge as a right
It's a
professional.
continuous process. So that is the reason when we say that it is not a continuous process only and only for the students. It's a continuous process for the faculty as well. And that is the reason we always make it a point that we always are in line with whatever is the market trend, and we actually make it a point that we are up to that, so that we are teaching the students what is the latest thing that is happening in the market.
I know, as a faculty, during our vacations, we need to visit the hotels, and we do keep on having a lot of interactive sessions with the
There are lots
industry,
of faculty development programs. There are lots of workshops that we are having, and these workshops, at the same time, while we are having it for the students, it is there for the faculty as well. So the faculty is also getting accustomed to whatever is the new thing coming up in the market. Something like we are into a session that is a podcast and being done by our own students.
Yes.
At the same time, something like food photography. So we are coming up with lots of cuisines, we are coming up with lots of dishes, but the things that are getting highlighted on our various social circles are the ones which have been done by our own students. So that concept also is coming through here only. Now here, I take it that you are going to give me an answer, where do they get the time for this?
Where, ma'am? I think you can answer that better. During weekends?
I think so. So the students are going to actually do not only from 9 to 5:30, the moment they are into a different cultural group, something like the people, those who are into this cynics that we call as the digital platform, they are not only from 9 to 5:30 a part of it, of the college, they are there till late in the evenings, or even their Saturday, Sundays get into it. So that is a learning. I'll always say learning is never stops till the death also. So it is only the attitude. Now the only thing that matters to a person is the attitude. If you have a learning attitude, there is hundreds of things that are all around you which are going to give you learning. That is for
I think these are the things which are making actually PUSA special. I think otherwise, if you talk about syllabus and the degree which is awarded by JNU now, so it remains same, but all these little things which are actually making you a better person, ready for the industry, that is special.
Ready not only for the industry, let me say. When we are talking about students, I just met five minutes back, I met one of our old students who is an army personnel now, and he is deputed on the that border that he is. But this is giving an immense pride to you as a faculty also, that you are not only nurturing the young minds, but at the same time you are creating a good future for country. That this future is in all respects, not only hospitality, any field.
So I think wherever you're talking about people skills, I think this comes a part of it.
Yes.
And especially in today's world when everything is like this.
See,
so you
right
hardly
now,
interact with people around.
Right.
So this is happening in college.
This is happening in college, where you have, I think we have 15 clubs here. Now, all these 15 clubs are catering to different requirements of the day-to-day activities. So apart from, now you can please understand that apart from having that theory or practical,
You
the
have
student
this.
is having that they are part of those 15 cultural activities or any other activity that we might be having. That includes a sustainability aspect as well.
Yes, the trust
The
body.
trust body that we
Think
have.
responsible, act sustainable, as we call
Yes.
it. Okay.
So that is a very important part, and we take it that the hospitality is looking into this one area because our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, as well as the G20 has given it as a something like as a target that you have to make your industry carbon neutral.
Yes.
The moment we are talking about carbon neutral, this trust society of ours, which has been established for the last 8 or 9 years, is right now working more harder towards how to come and actually activate those young minds towards this aspect of industry.
I think very, very impactful. And if we talk about the fun part, so today our tourism club team, they have gone to
Yes.
Surajkund, so they are visiting that area and doing their work there. So it is a lot of fun apart from studies.
Yes.
But you are the academic head. So I come back to the examination part. So we spoke about the exam and we spoke about the components of the exam. And PUSA में आने के लिए कितना रैंक चाहिए मैम?
पूसा में आने के लिए nothing above 200. So if you can allow me, I'll just share some of the statistics here with you, which can be very much helpful for the
I think that will be
students.
really
I think that would be
important.
better.
Let's-
So just give me a minute. Now, as per Karan Johar, I'm starting and putting on my reading glasses, and I have these statistics which are telling us about.
This is for from the last year, ma'am?
Now, these are the statistics that are for the last 3
Yes.
years. That is the year 2021,
Right.
2022, and 2023. Now, when we are talking about the statistics that I'm releasing, are the ones which were the opening rank, which we are normally classified as OR, and the closing rank, that is CR. So that is the way that normally a statistic or a table can be read.
Right.
Now this is divided into all the different categories that we are having, that is starting with the open PWD, the general EWS, then we have the general EWS PWD, we have OBC PWD, SC PWD, ST PWD, and the Kashmiri migrant. Now these are the different percentages that have been divided as per the government norms. So there is nothing that much needs to be done. On the whole, when we talk about IHM PUSA is having 321 seats.
Okay.
So these 321 seats, as per the government norms, have been divided amongst these categories that we are having. So if I go by the last 3 years statistics, in my closing rank, in fact, now this is an alarming situation. I said 200. 2023 had the open category closing rank at 130 only.
Okay.
So this is now see there the statistics and the numbers
It will
change.
keep on
It will
changing
always
depending
change.
on
so
how
whatever I am
students-
giving right now, this is a past trend.
Right.
This is not a trend which might be the same in the future as well. But yes, if you really want to come over to IHM PUSA, we will always suggest be in the first 200. That is the first thing, and the moment you are, I think that will be making your journey much more safer, and it will be reaping some good fruits. But at the same time, we will be saying that these numbers are something which is just a past trend, nothing like as a future.
एंड अभी तो हम ये शेयर कर ही रहे हैं मैम, सो ये हमारी वेबसाइट वगैरह में कहीं पे अवेलेबल रहेंगे इफ समबडी वुड लाइक टू गो थ्रू
Now
दीस
these are the records
or
which
National Council.
this is always on the National Council, and that to the counselling side that they are having, where they normally have a opening and closing rank calendar or a table which is mentioned in their brochure, or besides when we move to the website, just besides on the left hand side or the right hand side, the way that, because the designing always changes year on year. So it will be on one side of the website window, the opening and the closing ranks of the previous years.
For various colleges they have.
For all the colleges.
Okay. So, ma'am, like after somebody has got IHM PUSA, and what is the procedure after that?
Now this procedure,
counselling, like I think we had received certain questions on that.
Yes. Now when we talk about counselling, I will suggest, if we actually really want to be going in detail for this counselling process, I will suggest that we should be having a separate podcast onto it, for the reason that everything needs to be explained in much detail.
Right.
Just to give a summary of it, the summary is all about the process starting, let's say, from the 11th of May, the exam has been conducted. This is for this session that I'm talking about, that is 24-25.
Right.
The exam results are out. Then there is the time for a schedule will be taken out by the National Council that this is the schedule for this, which usually will be having 4 rounds.
Okay.
Now these 4 rounds are the ones where there will be a continuous up and down movement of the type of the institutes that you are getting, subject to you opting for those institutes. Okay. And of course, this is all software generated. This is all where a human intervention is not there. So we take it that whatever your rank is, you get the best college according to that rank. So here we have to be very much clear and much more in detail. That is the information that needs to be given out. But हाँ, 4 राउंड्स रहते हैं. 4 राउंड्स में हर 3 राउंड्स के लिए तो नॉर्मल होता है कि आप आ सकते हो, जैसे जैसे वो एक रैंक हमारे को अवेलेबल होनी शुरू हो जाती है. लेकिन आप उसमें ये चेंजेस भी कर सकते हैं. लेट्स से आपने फर्स्ट राउंड में एंट्री कर ली, आपको एक सीट अवेलेबल हो गई है, तो पहला जो काउंसलिंग प्रोसेस है उसके लिए तो हमने अपना 2000 का ले लिया. लेकिन अगर आपको सीट मिल गई है तब आपने सीट को कंफर्म करने के लिए 20,000 दे दिया.
So that means the counselling process is starting with, I think, at the payment of 2,000 rupees.
That is, you are registering yourself.
Okay.
And once you have
to
registered,
undergo that process.
Yes, to undergo that process. And once this process you are part of it,
right.
Then they are releasing the institutes.
Okay.
And this institute releasing is as per the rank that you have achieved.
Right.
Let's say approximately 11,000 seats are there all over, that is pan-India, which is all the CIHMs, that is central bodies. We have the state bodies as well as the PSU. There is one PSU institute that we having, and then there we have some private institutes as well. So these 11,000 seats are all over in all these institutes. But for IHM PUSA, again,
थोड़ा सा पढ़ लो यार.
बिल्कुल. And ये पढ़ना उसी टाइम पर नहीं है. Normally अभी के लिए मैं ये कह सकती हूँ कि होटल मैनेजमेंट इतना भी ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट नहीं है. एक रात पहले भी हमारे कई स्टूडेंट्स मान सकते हैं, वो ये बताएंगे कि एक रात पहले भी अगर पढ़ लोगे तो पास हो जाओगे. yes. क्यों? क्योंकि आपने अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेनी है. किसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेनी है? जिसकी आपने हैंड्स ऑन कर ली है.
So वो practical component में somehow you are imbibing that, yes. Class by class. So theory part
so that is the reason we have more of an importance being given to attendance as well.
Okay. Yes. So attendance is also a very, very important topic.
मैं
ना बोलना नहीं चाह रही थी, but आपका जो portfolio है ना, I think as academic head, स्टूडेंट्स की अगर मैं नज़र से बात करूँ तो बहुत खतरनाक वाला क्यों लगता है सबको? आई थिंक अटेंडेंस इज द मेजर इशू.
आई थिंक अटेंडेंस इज द मेजर इशू, जो उनको लगता है कि बिकॉज दैट इज वन ऑफ द पॉइंट्स व्हिच कैन एक्चुअली मेक और ब्रेक द होल लिंक दैट यू हैव हैड.
सो व्हाट इज द मिनिमम परसेंटेज?
द मिनिमम परसेंटेज इज 75%.
75%.
व्हिच ऑफ कोर्स आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू वन थिंग, दैट 75% हमारे जो क्लासों में भी बैठा होएगा ना, उसके भी 75% नहीं होंगी. लेकिन जो हमारे एक्टिविटीज़ में पार्ट कर रहे होते हैं, क्लब एक्टिविटीज़ में, वो 90% पर भी पहुंच जाते हैं. So this is also one of the things that can always be boosting. Now this is not only from the concept of attendance, this is also from the concept of you boosting your confidence.
Right.
Confidence is the first thing that will always be a part and parcel of your life.
Right.
And life skills. So books are not going to give you the life skills. Life skill is only going to come to you only when you are into an interaction.
जी.
So this interaction is the most important and that is a learning.
तो लाइफ जीनी पड़ेगी, लाइफ के लिए उसके अलग अलग स्वाद आपको चखने पड़ेंगे, कभी पढ़ना भी पड़ेगा, थोड़ी डांट भी खानी पड़ेगी हमसे.
बहुत जरूरी है डांट तो हमारी.
You know, when you are responsible for certain activity, I think that is the maximum time. I think that is the time जब आप एक you are evolving.
Yes.
क्योंकि आपने with every event, with every activity, you emerge better. That's what I have seen.
That's what we are saying.
Whether it is cultural program, whether it is some other people who are arranging a conference, because different type of activities. It's not only just the fun part. Yes. We have various activities which are happening. So with every activity, by the time a student is reaching in the third year, आपको लगने लगता है यार ये तो बड़ा हो गया.
बिल्कुल.
तो कुछ अलग ही हो गया है.
Exactly. This is what we have also observed is कि मतलब जब हम अपना पहला फॉर्म भराते हैं बच्चे का और उनकी जो पर्सनल फाइल्स बनती हैं, there is a photograph and the moment if you actually try to compare that to the passing out photograph of the student, it will be way apart. You will can never be in a position to actually recognize that he's the same or she is the same student who had come to you 3 years back.
Yes. When
That
I
is
used to
the
take first year, ma'am, so this used to happen. Students used to say कि जब हम first vacation में when we go home, so you know our parents, family, friends, and they will say, अरे बाप रे, what are you doing? What has happened to you?
This is what every student has been saying. But that is again, I'll not say every, because this is something where the student, how much of the incorporation, एबिलिटी उसने अपनी कितनी बढ़ाई, उसने अपने एटीट्यूड में कितना चेंज लाया, उसने अपने आप को कितना डिसिप्लिन किया, ये सारी ही चीज़ें तो एक फैकल्टी अपने पेरेंट्स तक को भी दिखने शुरू हो जाती है. तो फैकल्टी तो दूर की बात हो गई फिर उसमें.
So attendance is an important criteria, 75% attendance, and there are, I think, certain benefits which you get. So probably once you are there, at that stage, you would know
Once
about
they are
that.
in IHM PUSA, you are our responsibility, but that doesn't mean that we are going to put you into the exams without being a part of the exam classes as well.
Okay.
So
नहीं क्लास ऑब्वियसली मैम 75% मार्क है तो बिना क्लासेस के तो वो नहीं हो सकता है. यू नो ओनली विद अदर थिंग्स यू कैन नॉट मैनेज दैट. वी हैव सीन दैट. बट आपका बिल्कुल ये कहना सही है कि जनरली व्हाट वी हैव सीन एज अ ट्रेंड फॉर मी ऑल्सो इट्स द 25th ईयर एट IHM PUSA कि जो जहाँ मतलब जो कॉलेज में आ रहा होता है दैट पर्सन वुड बी सीन एवरीवेयर वेदर इट इज़ क्लब वेदर इट इज़ क्लास और कुछ नहीं तो कहीं डांट ही खा रहा होगा. बट यू नो दे दीज आर द पीपल हु विल बी देयर.
लेट मी टेल यू हियर, जिन्होंने डांट भी ज़्यादा भी खाई होगी ना, दे आर द वंस दोज हु हैव बिकम द मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल पीपल इन द मार्केट. बिकॉज now this again I'm coming to the same thing, that is attitude. उस बच्चे ने उस डांट से कितना सीखा और कितना अपने आप को चेंज करने की कोशिश की. Why? Because only and only if he realizes why the failure has happened, what was the reason that he was actually scolded for, then only can he actually understand. जिसको हम कहते हैं introspect. The moment you are doing some introspection for yourself, then only can you say, okay, this is where I have to change. Because we are same for everyone. And this change has to happen only at that individual position. And that individual position is where they are actually doing something good for themselves.
Right.
But though at the same time, it is always a pride moment for us when we know that our students are the ones, those who are really well settled there. And it is not that they are only settled there in the hospitality. They are settled, as I said, in the services. They are into the cruise. They are into the banking sector. They are into, let's say right now, into the retail as well. So the retail also component is where the students are moving. There are lots and lots of opportunities.
So beyond hospital, like beyond hotels, hardcore hotels, there would be a lot of opportunities.
Lots of opportunities. So anyone who is having a passion for the hotels will always be readying themselves. This is what we have observed here. Will be readying themselves for the hotel criteria, because the type of the eligibility, the type of the person that the hotel industry is asking for will be very different from what a retail company is going to ask for. So here the choice comes in, and this choice normally can be taken from the amount of, that is the passion that the person is having, and of course the experience and the learning that the person is taking from here.
Ma'am, you know, in today's episode, we had actually covered, like what we wanted to cover was the flagship program. However, I would request you कि थोड़ा सा एक बार 1 year और जो हमारा master's program है, what is the, like उसके लिए भी कोई ऐसा exam है, written exam?
For the masters, yes, there is an entrance exam, and this masters exam is somewhere released. This dates are released somewhere in May. In May, they have these, the students fill in their form. There's an entrance exam somewhere in July. This is just a trend that I'm saying. So they just have to be on the, going to the site of NCHM, because they are the governing bodies and they are the ones, those who will be taking out the dates.
Right.
Once the results for these are out, then not every institute is having a master's program. We are having a master's program, and so are the other
few
institutes all over India, which are having the master's program. So these students, as per the ranking, here again the first ranking are for IHM PUSA, and then of course the NCHM.
Right. Okay. And what about 1 year, ma'am?
1 year is all about, there's no entrance exam for 1 year. So
for all the diploma programs?
We have 3 diploma programs. One is the service, that is the diploma in food and beverage service. Now this is again one of the diplomas, we'll say, that highly in demand, where the industry, be that a standalone restaurant, be that any of the bartenders, anyone are really looking forward to the people, those who have graduated from this or have completed their diplomas.
Right.
At the same time, we have the diploma food production.
Food production.
Now, these are the ones, those who are, I'll say this is much more extensive than the 3-year program that we are having. Because in this, what are the type of the menus that they are doing, it is almost all those menus that we are doing right from the first year till the 3rd year. So the amount of hands-on that my 1 year is having, because it is a summarized thing what the student is doing in 3-year diploma, और उसका passion है अगर kitchens की तरफ, they can always go in for diploma in food production. And the same goes for diploma bakery confectionery. Now, diploma bakery confectionery is again, these are all the three which are very much in demand. And because of the reason that bakery and confectionery is something that the students can start with their own, something like at their own home level. And that is the reason that we will be having the students who are coming from all ages and all categories as well. So उसमें भी कहीं restriction तो as such अभी कहीं पे भी age की नहीं रही है, यही उसमें भी है, production में भी है, और यही हमारा service में रहता है.
Okay, so somebody, if I summarize, so for 1-year program, there is no written test. What we are seeing
Merit
is
list.
the
It's a
merit
total
list
merit list.
based on class
on
12th
their
marks?
class 12th marking. But yes, the only thing most important again is that English has to be a part of your 12th class.
Okay, so that is mandatory.
That
okay,
is mandatory. So the merit list is taken out as per the percentage, which can go as high as 90 also.
Okay.
And of course, once we have the seals, and we have limited seats, that is the biggest thing that we have. Something like food production, we are having only 120 seats. For the DBC as well, that is the Diploma Bakery and Confectionery, we have again 120 seats. And when we talk about F&B Service Diploma, that is we are having 70 seats. So these are very limited seats, and along with this, they have to be going through that merit component as well.
तो मतलब आने के चाहे रास्ते अलग हों at IHM PUSA, but हमने जैसा सर से भी पिछले एपिसोड में बात की थी मैम, but once you are there in the system, the kind of opportunities you are getting, that is equal. It's not about being a diploma student or a BSc student or a master's student.
No ways.
So even at Bharat Parv, I saw the team was mixed.
Complete mix.
Right from MSc to our 1-year students, everybody was
now
a part of the team.
This is where the social skills again is coming into, right? They might be from different backgrounds, they might be from different courses, but when they are representing IHM PUSA, they are one. And that talk or that soft skill, the way they are handling the situations, because Bharat Parv that you have taken an example is one of the examples where the student is on grounds and the crowd that is coming to them is immense. And what we are talking about is the type of experience they are having. So what is the methodology that we normally do at Bharat Parv is, we have a team and the team is told that get customers. So for every number of customer, you are going to get this type of an incentive. Might not be the incentive is that very important, but that interaction, that communication, how you have gathered the customer, how you have got the customer back to the stall, this is one of the experiences only.
Yes, you're right, ma'am. And I've seen students enjoying that.
They enjoy much more than the theory book classes that they are into.
Okay, yes. तो मतलब उसके बाद theory में जाने में उनको लगेगा ये थोड़ा boring है.
बिल्कुल. So
but that is also important.
Apart from Bharat Parv, they are into, but हाँ इस सारी चीज़ों से ये कहीं नहीं लगना चाहिए कि हमारी theory नहीं होती और ना practical होता है.
नहीं वो 75% आपने लगा रखा है ना mark तो उसके लिए.
बिल्कुल. तो सारी चीज़ें होती हैं, but हाँ बैलेंस क्रिएट किया जाता है, nothing at the cost of the academics. That is what I am or our management is there to ensure.
Now, ma'am, we have talked about, in general, how to enter IHM PUSA. And from entry to exit, I think you are one person जो आपको शुरुआत से लेके अंत तक मिलेंगे, right? From the time you are getting enrolled and the counselling process, and because we have these term and exams, semester exams, I can say. Yes. So, एक साल में दो बार वो तो होना ही है, वो semester exams भी हैं.
Especially when you have so many batches. Yes. Like starting with masters, then you have the 3 years, that is all the 3 years. Yes. That too in a semester system. It is not an annual system. It is a semester system. Yes. Then you have the diplomas. So all these exams being conducted throughout the year, along with that, your complete midterms happening, their records of attendances, their nurturing that needs to be ensured in the classes, that be that the theory or the practical conduct of classes. This all is
A part
something
of
like you never come
academics.
to know when the time started 9 o'clock and कब 5:30 बज गए.
Yes,
तो वो
ma'am.
5:30 तो हमारे लिए 5:30 रहता नहीं है. It is something like what we call as the same job that a person in the hotel is doing on those same lines.
Right, right. And even I think after you have passed out, people come back because there are a lot of students who are going abroad or pursuing higher studies. So letter of recommendation and everything. So academics, I think, spread
that is
out
another.
over everyone and every year. So that becomes very, very
anytime
important.
the student is coming over to the institute for the matter of career itself. So the moment we are talking about career, that career has a authenticity only once you have everything in place, all the paperwork in place. And to have that paperwork in place, you have to actually go through this grind. This grind is very important for
And
a
people
student to
thought
get
hotel
done.
management was a cakewalk. So
Well,
is it a cakewalk?
No, the cakewalk is will always be there once they are doing their bakery, and once they are cutting their cakes there in the, might be in the residences, they are cutting those cakes during the 3 years, but it will never be a cakewalk for sure. But only and only it will be a cake for the people, those who are into the job day in and day out. I'll say it will be a cakewalk for them. That is for sure.
So let's move towards the last section, and इस बार मैम honest होना पड़ेगा because now I am talking to Meenakshi Sumbly and not the academic head.
Okay.
तो आपको अपनी वाली चीज़ें share करनी है, ठीक है? So we'll try and keep it very honest.
हाँ.
Okay. So as a student, I'll ask you, and बहुत ज़्यादा explanation नहीं मैम, आपको फटाफट जो याद आए आपको वैसे बताना है. As a student, you were a studious one, or you were into these activities.
Well, I will say IHM PUSA students are luckier ones, because once we were doing our hotel management, we didn't have many of the activities. So as I said, IHM PUSA is always in line with whatever is their requirement in the market. We have the club formulation being done as and when there is a requirement. So at our time, when we did our we never had those side of activities, except for food service, except for cooking of the things. But we are way beyond that now.
Okay. So what do you feel in the class, the front benchers will have the impact or the back benchers?
Well, when I am conducting a class, my backbenchers will always have an impact. The front benchers, I know they are the ones, those who are sincere. They will always be there to actually listen what you are. But when you are saying the word impact, impact goes to the backbenchers anytime.
Okay. Okay. Now, if I talk about the major departments, which one is your favorite?
I have my favorite as kitchens.
Okay.
And of course, kitchens is where I had a very short stint. But yes, anytime any of the department is having its own set of challenges. Might be sitting at one place, I say the other department is one of the rosier pictures, is giving you a very greener grass and showing you that. But when we move into that, the actual operations of that particular department, it will always be the same type of a hard work that is required in any of the other departments.
Okay, ma'am, from your perspective, what we'll ask is, the first word which comes into your mind when I talk about that department. Okay, तो जो मैं आपको department बोलूँगी, जो first thing आपके mind में आती है, you have to tell me that. Okay, food and beverage service.
All alcoholic things, which is very difficult to remember, but yes.
You have to keep it short, ma'am. Just one word I want.
Done.
So it is alcoholic beverages. Okay. Let's say first year kitchens.
First year kitchen basics, total clarity.
Okay. Bakery and confectionery.
Cakes, of course, the moment we are saying, but toffees also.
Front office.
Front office is all about discipline and the showcasing of your brand. Research is way beyond for some, but yes, anyone who is oriented towards it, very good area.
Housekeeping.
Creativity.
Third year kitchens.
Again, creativity.
Second year kitchen.
I'll again say creativity.
Okay. Because you said kitchens is your favorite, so we have like 1 year kitchen.
Yes.
We have first year, second year, third year.
Right.
Your favorite?
Anytime the third year, because that incorporates all the 3 years, the previous ones, the 2 years as well.
Out of all the 15 clubs, which one is your favorite? I know it's difficult, but then it's on air.
The kitchen club, because that is where you are not into the job or the operations at that very moment. You are there right from the 1 week prior to it.
Okay, so as an academic head, you also have this responsibility, which I would say, having a vision for the institute, thinking, giving your ideas or conceiving, what else could be added. So if I give you this option that, we require another club. Club is not fun time actually. Club is, क्या need based जैसे आपने बोला कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं. What is the next club which should come up?
The next club should be talking about...
At IHM PUSA.
Well, it is to do with, one, we have the sustainability, but yes, IHM PUSA is all about whatever the world is asking for internationally. So, one, digitalization of the classrooms, that is what we are looking forward to. Though I'll say at the same time, might be the student is whosoever is trying to come over to IHM PUSA is looking for a very rosier picture, the rosier classrooms, or the classrooms which are having that Karan Johar wala feeling कि हाँ यहाँ पे जी AC कमरे होंगे सारे, वैसा कुछ नहीं है. You have to slog in, and once you have slogged, then only can you actually go through the grind, and then only you can shine. So this is very important from all aspects. But yes, digitalization of each and every aspect is the most important that we are looking for.
What is the most difficult part of being the academic head of IHM PUSA?
I don't find so, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Okay. So what is the best thing you enjoy the most as the academic head?
Well, the best is coming up with new ideas to give the best to our students. That is the one thing that I always love.
Right.
Because students is anytime our priority.
Okay. I had asked this question to Sir also. I'm asking it again, and we'll probably end with the girls in the hospitality, boys in the hospitality. Or do you think,
balance.
That doesn't matter?
Anytime balance. We cannot say it's only girls, it is not only boys. No. It always has to be a balance. And see, earlier when I'm talking about that, my favorite is the one that is my favorite. At the same time, girls were never into the kitchens earlier. But now what you are seeing that kitchens is not gender biased. Kitchens is where we are talking about gender neutral thing. The same goes for any other department. Earlier people were thinking that housekeeping happens to be a department only and only for the ladies. Right. Now you might not be finding that many ladies. You have only the gents, those who are working in the housekeeping department. So we will say that on the whole, talking in perspective of a hospitality, it will always be looking for some balance between the two.
And because we are talking about gender equality, and now this, third gender is also officially a part of National Council. Yes. So I think that inclusiveness is also there at IHM PUSA.
That inclusiveness is at IHM PUSA, and that is, again, I said, that is in the industry as well. You have the people, those who are from the other genders as well, working in the different aspects or the different departments of a hospitality. And not only hospitality, you go to any of those organizations, be those the corporate ones also, they are also working towards this gender neutrality also.
Okay, describe IHM PUSA in one word. What do you feel? The best. Okay, so I think that was really, really impressive, and coming straight away from the academic head of IHM PUSA, Mrs Meenakshi Sumbly. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I think for a topic like this, I think we enjoyed a lot. Yes, so sure. I hope the viewers also enjoy this conversation. And there were a lot of takeaways. And do check the comment sections and all the captions for all the important links. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you so much. But shortly, I'll always close it that any questions you can always drop in the comment section. We will always try to come up with a podcast which is related to the maximum type of questions that are. So we'll try to create a balance for each and every question that is coming to us.
So if any question is coming to your mind, do drop it in the comment section. Thank you so much for being with us. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you. PUSA Podcast की तरफ से Mamta Bist.